Breaking news, court issues notice against DSS director, threatens to jail him for denying Nnamdi Kanu access to his lawyers. Exactly. So the question is, I don't understand what the DSS and the federal government wants to achieve by locking Nnamdi Kanu perpetually. They arrested the what do they call the Magban leader, Bodijo, and they have released him for several offenses that borders on terrorism and setting up a security outfit that is not registered. But they have refused to release Nnamdi Kanu. Ogbo was apprehended and he has been released. A lot of people have been released, but Nnamdi Kanu, they don't want to. It's because of hatred for him and hatred for the Igbos. And this agreement between the Agbadorians and the Hausas, quite unfortunate. So now, courts have said that he should be released because there's no reason why he should be detained, and also compensate him, but they refused. Now they are refusing him access to his lawyers. Initially they were refusing him access to medical treatment. Now they are refusing him access to his lawyers. What? So they want to incarcerate him and kill him. They don't know that this guy might end up being the Mandela of Nigeria. It's or the Mandela of the Southeast. Huh. The more they incarcerate him, the more they make him popular. So the court, in the notice dated October 18, 2024, and signed by its registrar, threatened that the DSS boss will be committed to prison if he continued to disobey court orders by denying the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, access to his lawyers. So the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Friday issued a notice of consequences against the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, for contempt of court. I can see the name now. You can see it. So the court, in the notice dated October 18, 2024, and signed by its registrar, threatening the DSS boss would be committed to prison if he continues to disobey court orders by denying the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, access to his lawyers. The notice reads, take notice that unless you obey the directions contained in this order, see overleaf, by allowing the applicant's counsel to conduct the court-ordered visitations with the applicant on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you will be guilty of contempt of court and will be liable to be committed to prison. So confirming the development, Kanu's special counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimako, said that the notice by the court was necessitated by the DSS repeated disobedience of the court-ordered 3 days in a week visitation of Kanu by his lawyers. So Ejimako said that with the court notice, if the DSS Director Ajayi continues to deny them access to Kanu, the IPOB leader's legal team will be left with no option but to commence vigorous contempt proceedings against him. Ejimako said this notice is necessitated by the repeated disobedience of the court-ordered visitation of Nnamdi Kanu by the newly appointed Director General of State Services, Department of State Services, DSS, Mr. Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, who has for almost a month not allowed Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers to visit him. Can you imagine? So they removed the person that was there, and now they have put another Yoruba man there, and they have instructed him on what to do, and that is what he's doing. I'm sure it's part of handover. So to be clear, this notice is a quasi-criminal judicial process that forewarns any persons disobeying a court order of the penal consequences of such misconduct. Therefore, if the Director General of the DSS persists on this ignoble path, he will leave us with no other option than to commence vigorous contempt proceedings against him. Recall that Justice Binta Nyaku had, in a judgment delivered on Monday, 28, 2024, May 20, 2024, issued an order varying the condition of visitation to Kanu in the DSS custody to 3 days a week. The court ordered that he is to be given a safe and clean room to be made available to the defendant at the present facility to prepare for his defense, with his team of counsel not exceeding 5 in number, that they should be allowed such facility that is required for the preparation of his defense and be allowed to take notes. However, Kanu's legal team has on several occasions raised an alarm that the DSS moved from secretly recording their conversations with Kanu to completely denying them access to Kanu, hence making it impossible for them to prepare Kanu for his defense. Oh, wow. I don't know what they want to achieve in all of this. So the truth is, Nigeria is obviously not one, whether they like it or not. We have seen what is happening now. And some say, once you secure an appointment in the Nigerian government, consider yourself above the law because the law is selective in its administration. Some people are undoubtedly above the law. Exactly. This guy just secured an appointment by Tinubu's administration and is already working according to their dictates. I'm sure that is part of the instructions given to him. Sunday Igboho just submitted a referendum for Oduduwa Republic and is walking around freely because he is not from Southeast. The DSS turned blind eyes to it. Exactly. Quite unfortunate. And some will say you are too daft to ever make sense. Did Sunday Igboho go about instructing his boys to kill security agencies? Look at what this one is saying now. Because they are turning it now a tribal thing. Why has it taken your tribe this long to jail him if actually there is a single evidence that he did that? Meanwhile, the so-called security forces started opening fire at aimless IPOB or armless IPOB during their usual rallies with only flags. Up to date, they are still killing Igbo youth in the name of fighting IPOB. I'm telling you, it is a plan to annihilate the Igbos. That is the thing. That is why Buhari said that the Igbos are like a dot, that they can clean them up. Quite unfortunate. That is a genocidal statement, but nobody is following it up. The problem with someone like you is that it is hard for you to make sense without insulting, and I don't think it is the way you were brought up. But trying to be noticed on this app is such a shame. Can you imagine what all these people, in fact, quite unfortunate that Nigeria has gone this way. Fulanis have finished their own. Now it's Yoruba's DSS boss to continue, but time shall tell. It's a matter of time. I'm telling you what is happening. The time freedom will come to these people is going to be very, very miraculous. This empty threat has become a recurring decimal, orchestrated by the powers that be to elongate Nnamdi Kanu detention. Former DSS boss committed this blunder ceaselessly, and nothing happened as he was hopelessly booted out. Another round of violations of court order is in the offing, okay? And the threat keeps reverberating. Release Nnamdi Kanu conditionally. He is being persecuted and not prosecuted. Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. Release him now. You have nothing against him, and that is it. But the government of the day will not. This is one of the oppressors misusing his official power. He forgets he won't remain DSS director forever. Let him continue to misbehave like Bichi. What befell Bichi will befall him. The truth of the matter is that these people, I don't know why they don't want Nnamdi Kanu released. But again, time shall tell.